Hello, hello, everybody. I see some folks in the chat already. So, y'all let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. Want to make sure the technical side is up and running before we go ahead and jump into our live for today. So, y'all drop some emojis. I like emojis, thumbs up, smiley faces, all that good stuff. So, you let me know that you can hear me and see me. La, 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 la. Yeah. All right, I see a thumbs up by Chrissy T. Thank you. I'm gonna take your word. Oh, okay. Emojis, emojis. I love it. All right. So we are here. Just so y'all know, Chris James runs a tight ship. He wanted to make sure I was on time, and I am. So thank you for that, fearless leader. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Of course, if you are watching this on a replay, hey. But I don't want to take up too much time, as my granddaddy would say when he would start before he started preaching. So again, my name is Shell B. For those that may not know who I am. Today we are going to go over what foods to eat. So you should have your R72 weight loss challenge guide. Hopefully you've gone through it by now because we are 4 days into our prep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the guide and go over some of the things that I already mentioned. But my primary focus for today really is to go over the mindset of changing our eating habits and giving some ideas of getting ourselves prepared to make this a lifestyle change. How we think about the foods that we eat, how we feel about the changes that we're making. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, I appreciate you all in the chat. So give me 1 second to open this up. I'm not going to read too much, but I do want to touch base on some of the things we said. So we encourage a whole food, plant-based diet, but it is not required to maintain and keep weight off. And so what I mean by that is I've seen some comments and a lot of questions about, what if I don't want to give up meat forever? And things like that. That's perfectly fine. What you will hear from us, the coaches with AHA, is promoting a whole food plant-based diet because that's just what we eat and that's how we eat. But of course, if you want to continue to consume meat, that's perfectly fine. We just always encourage that it is high quality meat. Get it from your butcher, as opposed to foods that's been sitting on the shelves or in the freezer section for quite some time. So I just wanted to put that out there. What we teach and the way we do it is not concrete. You have to follow these rules, but we teach it in the way that we live it. It's just better that way. It's organic. It's just true and it's honest. So even when it comes to fruits and vegetables, while we're on this journey, while I'm on this journey, what I found is changing my eating habits and eating a whole food plant-based diet has been amazing for my digestive system, as well as my reproductive system and just my overall health. But it's important to listen to your body when you're eating these fruits and vegetables because they even though they are fruits and vegetables, the dynamic of our gut may be different. So some fruits that I can eat, you may not be able to eat. It may cause you gas or bloating. So you want to listen to your body, but the only way you'll know that is if you start trying new things or just getting out of your comfort zone and eating some different fruits and different veggies and creating different meals. One thing that I do want to touch on is the importance of the root or the benefit, I'll say, of the root brand products while you're making these changes because it will assist with the biome so that you can process the foods that we should be able to process naturally. Unfortunately, with the different foods that we've eaten throughout our lifetime, it has affected our body in a way that we can't digest foods that we typically would be able to had that been all we were consuming. But no worry, if you're here, you're listening, that means you are open to making some changes and we'll get on track. So using the root products while transitioning your eating habits, even if it's just during this prep time when you're removing meat and obviously when we're fasting. Um, Using those products is definitely going to help if you bring it back. Same with dairy and things like that. You won't hear us talk about it much because we don't consume it often. I have made it a habit to remove it completely. Some folks on the team still have it every now and then, but we reduced it significantly. So I say all that to say, we are not promoting a very strict diet. You can't have this, you can't have that, but we want to make sure that it's high quality and you're just open to trying some new things because you can't keep eating the same things you ate before. It'll put us back in the position that we were in, that we don't want to be in. So I gave you all a list and I found this cool list. They broke down the different foods based on the season. Now, nowadays we can go to the grocery store and we can get certain fruits and veggies just all year round. But it's nice to be able to pick ones that are in season because you'll get a better flavor, a better taste. So hopefully you check that guide out. I'm not going to read all of the vegetables and fruits that are here. You can go to page 7 of the weight loss challenge guide to see that. Quite a few of them overlap, which is a plus. But I gave you a quick tip on how to, as you're changing your eating habits, as you're incorporating some of these suggested meals and foods into your regular day to day eating. We know that you may still go out to eat, and that's perfectly fine. You may go to friends and family houses. The holidays just passed recently. So when you go places, be open to asking for some changes to the meals. A lot of times, and what I found is when I go to restaurants, I skim through the menu and I'll see they have mushrooms for one meal and they have a tomato soup or a tomato sauce for another meal. And I kind of mix and match. And a lot of times they will do it for you if you ask. And then just make a habit of finding new places to go because you want to be able to enjoy the foods that you eat. Because when you're enjoying what you're eating, you're more likely to stick to it, right? Well, at least for me, that's what worked for me. I changed my eating habits when I found out that I was pre-diabetic, and I decided to eat alkaline foods for 30 days. It reversed my pre-diabetes and a lot of other things, which I'm extremely grateful for. So those are just some quick tips on what you can do to manage and maintain. Make sure you go to that page 7 of the guide and look at the different foods we have. I also gave some things that you want to just have on hand because when you're changing your eating habits, what I found is there's some base products to have at home like walnuts, cashews if you aren't allergic to that. Spelt bread, spelt pasta. These are things that I have to order on Amazon. I think during the live we talked about kamut noodles and things like that are also options, finding different ancient grains. Grapeseed oil is amazing for cooking, high heat, frying. I still enjoy fried foods. I love fried mushrooms, just being open to trying different things. So, having these things on hand will be great when you're preparing your meals at home. So, when you're eating the foods that you're going to be eating, it's going to be important to prepare meals at home. I mentioned going out to eat here and there, but you'll be better off eating at home. So, following that list that I have for you and keeping some of the things that are great to have on hand will be important as you make this a lifestyle change. I hope all of this makes sense. The same thing with your sweeteners, agave, maple syrup. These are two of my favorites to have and keep on hand. And a lot of recipes that you find will call for these ingredients. So just having them, just like you would flour and anything else that you typically have, you just start transitioning into different things. One main key point, so that's all I'll cover here in the guide. You all have it. You can read through it. My main point that I wanted to talk about today, really, when it comes to the foods that you eat, is having a mindset for the shift, being open to trying something new. I've had a number of conversations with people about mushrooms I mentioned before. People are just, nope, don't like them, don't want them at all. There are so many different mushrooms out there with different textures and different flavors that you can enjoy, but you have to have an open mindset to do those things. We have a few suggested meals in the quick start guide, and one of them is the walnut tacos. We did the event earlier this year. Well, this is a new year. We did the event early in 2022. Come on, Shell, 2022. And I made the walnut tacos, and so many people were surprised at how flavorful it was, the texture, the taste, and everything. But it was me stepping out of my comfort zone, finding something new. I love tacos. I'll enjoy them with just veggies alone, but trying something new, looking up different recipes, sharing it with my friends and my AHA family, and now I have a new dish that I can go to. So being open is definitely something that's important. Also, having the mindset of I can't have this, I can't have that. No, no, no. You know, it's a negative way of thinking because this is a choice that you're making to be a better version of you. So it's important to go into this with these are the things that I'm trying. These are the things that I'm doing now. These are the things that I've left behind. And knowing that when you have that mindset shift, the process becomes easier, it becomes more routine, and it becomes fun, which leads me to my next point of have fun with this process. Enjoy it. Look for different recipes. Connect with your community. Your it could be your people at home, it could be your AHA family with us. Connect, share recipes, ask questions, find different restaurants. Nowadays there's so many different styles of eating that's available that you can actually enjoy, but connect and have a mindset of this is something I'm doing because it makes me happy, it makes me it I'm healthy, I feel good with it. And it for me, when I start making a change with my eating habits, that's how I was able to be consistent. A number of things that I used to eat before that I thought I could never let go, like fried chicken and things like that, um, it's a thing of the past now because I was open to trying something new. I was inquisitive. I wanted to know, like, what can I find that will um, satiate me? I didn't look for meat replacements per se, and I'm grateful that I went on the journey that I did, the way that I did when it came to changing my eating habits with whole food plant based because I wanted to reverse my pre-diabetes. But it opened my eyes to a number of different ways to enjoy my food without going to a processed version of it. So instead of trying to find a meat replacement, I intentionally gave up meat. Wasn't intending to do it for a lifetime, but that's how it eventually came about because the food was so delicious. I felt amazing. My bowels were moving regularly, which was exciting for me because I dealt with a lot of digestive issues. So I say all that to say, there are a lot of different foods out there, especially labeled vegan. It's marketing and things like that. It's a lot of processed foods that tend to get our digestive system backed up. I'm not saying I don't eat these things. I want to make that very clear. If y'all see me out in Dallas at a vegan restaurant, I'm not saying I don't eat these things. I eat them, but I eat them very minimally. And the bulk of my eating is whole food plant based because it's good and I made it fun and I connect with my community and we share recipes and it's just important to do that in order to make this a consistent lifestyle change. So another thing that I wanted to do was go over if you all have or you should have that quick start guide. We gave a few suggested recipes and I wanted to play a little game. If y'all have something to write down, write something on. You should have your AHA fasting journal, your AHA wellness journal. But if you don't, piece of paper or even your phone, think about the top 5 meals that you enjoy. They could be healthy or unhealthy. Well, if they're healthy, then you don't have to change them. But if they're unhealthy, if it's different things that you're like, I can't go without this. I really enjoy this. What will I do without this? I'm going to challenge you to think about those meals and find a healthy alternative. So I made a list earlier today as I was thinking about what we'll talk about. And I realized, some of the things at the top of my list, well, one I mentioned before, fried chicken. So one thing that I did was I found that portobello mushrooms, which are very common, the caps, there it can give you a meaty texture. Other mushrooms can do it as well, but the very first thing that I did years ago was I found a recipe to make. It's like chicken fingers almost. By just deep frying the portobello mushrooms and using spelt flour and grapeseed oil, and the texture was great. Like I battered it the way that I would normally do outside of um, using egg. I think we what did I use? Chia seeds or flax seeds. You can use flax seeds, ground flax seeds with water. It works as a binder, and you can make like a liquid so that you can double batter and you can get that texture, you can get that flavor, you can marinate your mushrooms in the seasonings that you enjoy, deep fry them. So if I want that texture, I can get that texture and I can get it in foods that are good for me. Someone mentioned cauliflower. That's another one, very versatile. I enjoy cauliflower rice. I use it in some of my um, lettuce wraps as a base. And you can flavor that. You can blend it with garlic. You can blend it with onions and your seasonings. You can get that burst of flavor from the cauliflower. Another thing which what led me to having that pre-diabetes diagnosis is pasta. Loved pasta, was eating it all the time. When I found out about spelt pasta and I ate it for the first time, I didn't have that heavy feeling. It didn't sit with me long, but it didn't taste artificial or it didn't like fall apart like some of the veggie pasta does sometimes. It's just a texture thing. And it's different types of noodles that are available in spelt. So when I changed that, and then I can make my own sauces. It's so simple to make you can make a cream sauce with coconut cream. If and you can flavor those with the seasonings that you want. It doesn't have to taste like coconut, using green onions and just enjoy the food, season the food, and try something different. So I enjoy my pastas. I have different ones. I'll make a red sauce, a tomato sauce, and I shared a few of those in the quick start guide recipes. Another thing, stuffed peppers. And I know a very common meal. I think we shared the stuffed peppers in the journal. It's very common, but I know meat is often in it and cheese is often in it. And if you tried the recipe that I provided, neither of those things are there, but it's a very satisfying meal because I was open-minded. I tried something different. I thought about the things that I like, the textures that I wanted, the flavors that I wanted, and it came out amazingly well. So write down the top thing, the five of the meals that you're typically used to eating, and make it your business to figure out how you can make that a healthy alternative dish. And if you have like when we get back into our private group, drop some of those things in there and maybe we can come up with something together. But that's just something I wanted to see to get you all thinking about on your end what you typically eat and meals that you will maybe giving up and see how it works for you. Um, I don't know if we have that's really what I wanted to cover. I wanted to talk about the foods that we have in the guide. I wanted to talk about the mindset of changing your eating habits. And I wanted to talk about actually taking action to make some changes and connecting with your community to make this a lifestyle change. I'll go to the comments to see if we have any questions. And if not, I'll give you the rest of your time back. Let's see. The walnut taco recipe is very good. Yes, thank you, Happy. That is I love your name, Happy. Happy Chanel. Um, Chris said the cookbook is coming. Y'all listen. Listen, that cookbook, ooh, the things we go through with that cookbook, it's coming, I promise. Um, Fried cauliflower, seasoned well, portobello mushrooms are awesome grill. Yes, I love that. Walnut, lentil, black beans. So earlier on, I talked about listening to your body. Y'all, I've tried with the beans and I just cannot. A lot of people around me can enjoy them without giving them gas or bloating, but my body says no. But beans are definitely a phenomenal option. If you haven't tried the chickpea chili recipe that Chris provided a while back, it's in the journal as well. Mm-mm-mm. I can make it for my family. I'll take a few bites, but I know better. I'm still growing too, y'all. Let's see, what else do we have here? I have food allergies to nuts and seafood. What can I substitute? You still can let's see, what is something that's creamy? Think about. I'm sure there's something out there. Hmm? Yeah, look, I have production in the background. Coconut is typically something that people that have allergies to nuts, they still can consume. I'm not sure if you've ever tried or if you have and had issues. Um, we actually had someone at our retreat that was allergic to nuts but could consume the coconut. I think the word nut is just in it. Avocados. Avocados are phenomenal for a nice creamy sauce. It'll be green, but that's fine. Um, yeah, so try avocados. You can flavor it well, you can blend it. Do a quick Google search because I'm pretty sure there is a large community of folks out there that can't use the nuts and are staying away from dairy as well. But avocados for sure, and coconuts. Let's see. Another thing I wanted to point out was the concept of eating raw before cooked. This has changed my life. I actually someone on the that Chris interviewed, and her name slips, but she had a phenomenal story. And one of her rule of thumb was eat raw before cooked. That just really helps to get the digestive system going. It helps to boost your energy, wake you up. So having like a smoothie in the morning or whenever you eat for the first time, or even a few bites of pineapple. I like to have pineapple or apples or whatever it is. Eating raw foods before eating cooked foods, or just having raw meals, because I think there's a misconception when it comes to eating raw. People think that it's just like salads or um, some of the things I just named, like apples and oranges and things like that. But you can have a full meal. There are a few restaurants around that literally only make raw foods. So again, I say do some research on different meals and different restaurants around you so that you can get some inspiration to having those raw meals. One of those, I think we talked about it during our live, the raw pastas. Some people use what the zucchini. Some people use. I mentioned the kamut. Um, it's a lot of different things that you can use to have that pasta and get that flavor. And Steven shared drying it out. If it's dry, if you dry it out, it gives you more of that noodle feel. And then you flavor it how you want to. You use your different sauces. I shared a green sauce in one of our challenges before. Literally, you can take an avocado, some of the lettuce or the greens that you were going to use for a salad, onions, tomatoes, bell peppers, season it how you want to, blend it up, and you'll have an amazing sauce that can go on your pastas, that can go on your salads, that can go on avocado toast, whatever you want it on. Who doesn't like a nice creamy texture? I do enjoy potatoes. I'm not saying eat a lot of them all the time, but potatoes are phenomenal with a nice sauce on top and some sauteed onions and bell peppers. You season it to taste. Is very satisfying and it tastes amazing. And it's easy and it's simple. Just that's why I say take some of the things that you eat regularly and just figure out how we can make it a healthy alternative. I'm gonna look forward to y'all's comments in the group to see what meals y'all eat normally, and we can come up with some things together if you have any roadblocks. I don't see any questions here. Y'all are live and active in the chat. I love that. I hope that this helped. I just like, sometimes it's good to just talk through. You can read it, but it's good to talk through and you'll start thinking about, "Oh yeah, I could do that. Oh yeah, I can try that." Or try getting on YouTube and finding some of the alkaline channels. Um Fully Raw Christina is one that we share about all the time because we, taken some of those recipes and made them our own based on trial and error. Okay, let me get down to the bottom here. Pizza is one. So for me, I don't do cheese either. People look at me like I'm weird, but I'll order a pizza and say no cheese, extra sauce, and then add the veggies that I like. If you have a good place where you enjoy the pizza, and it's a nice flavor, or you make it yourself, it's a fun activity to do with yourself. If you have children, a partner, a group of friends that just get together, trying it. Um, that's definitely an option. I know you're probably looking at me if you say pizza and you say no cheese. It's like, girl, are you crazy? But for me, it works and I enjoy it. And again, there's alternatives to the cheeses, but I would just say you don't want to go down that road of having the different types of processed foods that'll just back us up and cause some other issues. I think there's a pizza made by a certain brand, Amy's, that is typically available in a lot of grocery stores. If you just have that craving for pizza, it doesn't have the cheese on it, but it has a nice flavor. Oh, someone said I missed a lot of questions. Ooh, let me go back up. Go back to the top. I'm gonna give y'all some background music while I do that. Let's see. Videos. Doo-doo-doo. Loud and clear. I went all the way to the top. I took you literally. Someone said they hadn't received the guide. If you're in the private group, it has been shared and posted in the featured. Also, you can follow me in our group. Let's see. Oh, okay, it's in there. The link is in the chat for the guide. Teach maintenance. Yeah, so Natasha asked if I could teach maintenance. So basically what I'm sharing is the maintenance, figuring out different meals that you enjoy, playing with different foods, going through the list of foods that we suggested. There are quite a few vegetables and fruits that I haven't tried, like challenging yourself to try something new once a week or a few times a month, and then getting your core go-to meals. Like for me, honestly, if when I'm cooking for my family, if I'm not, making this elaborate meal, which is not often, literally a bowl of making a quinoa bowl is something that is satisfying to me. My family enjoys it. Cooking the quinoa with vegetable broth instead of water helps to give it a nice flavor, seasoning it well. Saute onions and bell peppers, and you can put a few mushrooms in there if you like. That is a nice hearty meal. It's tasty and it definitely helps with maintenance. Hydrating obviously is important, and staying in tune and connected with our group just to help keep you reminded of what your goals are and grounded. Because I've been eating this way for I guess 3 years now. It may be longer than that. And the reason that I'm able to maintain is one, I made a conscious decision that I wasn't going back to the doctor to get any type of diagnosis that I got before. And two, I made it fun. I really wanted to learn what I could do to make the foods that I eat tasty and exciting. And and that's really how you maintain, keep yourself grounded on why you're here. be connected with how you feel when you're making these changes, and remember how you felt before you made those changes. These are all things that I've done which helped me maintain. And I had a huge sugar addiction, and every now and then that need for sugar comes back. I found that dates are phenomenal, dried dates. I like to get the ones that, still have the pit in them. Um, 1 or 2 dates will satisfy that sweet tooth for me. I can't eat more than 2. It's sweet, it's just a nice, alternative. I put them in my smoothies as well. And then finding different recipes that you can make that still give you that sweet taste, helps as well instead of using that refined sugar and things like that. So I hope that helps. It's really about mindset first, being in touch and in tune with your body, and being open to trying different meals and having your top, I always say top 5, your top 5 meals to go to that you know you can do real quick. Um, and that helps. That's what helps me. Okay. Shell, do you recommend taking the Root brand products daily, whether we fast or not? Absolutely. I take it every day. I tell people every time I talk about the Root brand, restoring in particular, it changed my life. If you were in our 21-day challenge, I shared my story about how I would have chronic infections, and as women, I mean yeast infections. They would clear. I would think it would clear up, and then it would come back, and it would clear up, and it would come back. I started using Restore within a month of using it. At that time, I was only using 1 sachet a day for a while, and then one day I realized like it went away and it never came back, and to date it hadn't come back. So I definitely recommend using the Root products daily. It helps with my gut for sure. Let's see. Can you suggest how many fruits or vegetables to put in a smoothie? Um, I'm a minimalist. I like just a few. Usually I don't put more than 3, but there are no rules. I wouldn't want you to waste any food, but if I don't, I'll start with a banana and more than likely pineapple. Or if I don't have pineapple, I'll do whatever other fruit I have. I'll, strawberries, blueberries, some of the simple things that I just grab. But I typically don't have more than 3, but more than likely I just have 2. I always start with a banana, and sometimes if I don't have a banana, I use an avocado. Um, but it's really up to you. Look up some different smoothie recipes and see what resonates with you, and then that's what would be the best thing to do. Uh, oh, okay, so Brandon said he's craving jollof rice and fufu, and I can't say this other word. I've never had it before, so I'm not even gonna attempt to mess it up, but I understand it's your African dishes. One thing I think I watched a video where someone made jollof rice, and I followed some of the steps that they took, and I just used quinoa. And you might think it's strange, but try quinoa. Think about the process that it takes to make it, and try quinoa. I'm not quite sure what an alternative would be for fufu though. W- We I, we'll work on that together. I'm gonna look into it, but you let me know what you find. But with the jollof rice, I can at least attest to that quinoa is a good alternative to rice. I hope that helps. Or wild rice, black rice. Make sure when you find it that it's actually wild rice 100%, because a lot of times they'll blend brown rice and different types of rice in. So you can try the wild rice too. Um, let's see. Food allergies, mushrooms. Walnuts. Okay, I think I'm back. So the questions that I missed, I think I got, because these are ones that I've seen. Fried cauliflower, And even, I mentioned the cauliflower. You can do fried cauliflower, or you can, make your rice, put it in a blender or a food processor, and add a few different of your aromatics in there, like your onions and you do green onions, you can do white, purple, whatever, red onions, and season it well, and you can use that as your base for anything. Mm, okay. If you have an a intolerance for gluten, spelt is a no-no. Okay. There's still other options. You'll hear me say spelt because that's what I typically use. But there are definitely other options out there for you. Are we supposed to go juice only in day 6 and 7 of the prep week? Yes. So what are we doing now to the 9th? OMAD? You should be following the prep guide that is in the R72 weight loss challenge. We literally wrote out step by step what to do and follow there. So I'm gonna encourage you to go back to that. Yes, it's also in the academy as well. We have the videos that have been shared. Please watch those videos. It's very informative. Okay. Palms of heart pasta is good. Any solution for leg cramps and aches during prep? Absolutely. I'm glad you asked that. I'm sorry that you're experiencing that, but I'm glad you asked. The essential oils that I share about are good. And also just make sure that you're drinking enough water. A lot of times we may think we are, but I like to have different like jars and things that I know that I can count how many I'm having, how many I drink, or the certain amount it measures. The measurement is there. Just make sure you're drinking enough water, getting as close to that 1 gallon as possible until you get there. That will assist tremendously. Stretching helps, but also the essential oils. I think I shared. Yes, I put it in the guide. So that peppermint essential oil is going to be phenomenal. If you've already ordered through doTERRA, whenever I talk about essential oils, I'm always talking about doTERRA, the doTERRA brand specifically. Deep Blue is another essential oil blend that's amazing for body aches and pains because those things do come up when we're detoxing. You rub them on the area of concern using a carrier oil like coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil that doTERRA sells. You can even use the grapeseed oil that you use to cook with. You can use olive oil, any of those thin, slick oils you want to use, and it'll help to get more coverage on your body. So yes, hopefully that helps for you. Can you please tell us a little bit more about yourself? Okay. Were you ever overweight? I've never been overweight. All of my issues have been internal. Um, I've been doing this. Let's see, 2017 was when I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes. When I was a child, I had horrible migraines. My cycle was extremely painful leading up to 2017. It wasn't until the end of 2017 that I actually was able to experience a normal life while on my cycle. I mean, it's all contributed to the changes that I had. I did an interview with Chris. You can see that on the YouTube channel where I really go into depth about the issues that I had. I had fibroids. Oh man, I had so many issues, but they were all internal. I never had an issue with my weight, but I still end up losing weight. I was very inflamed. When I fasted, the very first time I fasted, I had pimples all over my body because I didn't understand the importance of cleaning my lymphatic system. And from the products that I used, from getting relaxers for all those years, all of those things started coming out when I did my first fast back in 2018, I believe. So I've experienced quite a bit. That's why I'm very strategic and I'm very consistent on my eating now because it changed my life. My life was I was just going through the motions and preparing myself for the discomfort that I knew I was going to feel a few times a month. And I don't have to live like that anymore, which is why the foods that we eat are very important. And I'm extremely passionate about that. So hopefully that helps you get to know me or a little at least a little bit more about my journey. Jackfruit for yes, jackfruit, phenomenal. Oh my goodness. So many different things you can do with jackfruit. Can you eat popcorn? What can you replace with butter? I love popcorn. I literally use grapeseed oil and just sprinkle it or just kind of drizzle it on. And we have a recipe for you for a certain seasoning that you can put on your popcorn as well. But yeah, popcorn is cool. Mm, I see. Okay, so Julia says she's allergic to coconuts as well. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So try avocados if you can. And also, using clean slate, it helps to, reverse those allergies. It helps to remove the, heavy metals that are in the system that are blocking our ability to, for our bodies to function properly. I used to have really bad allergies too. That was something that was once I started changing my eating habits and I realized that I didn't have to take one of those, Zyrtec or one whatever I was taking, it would be the one you have to take once a day. I started gradually thinking like, "Wait, I hadn't had to take it and my nose isn't itchy, my eyes aren't runny. There's something about what I'm doing here." And then when I started getting dairy back in my diet, I started feeling those things again, which led me to make a decision to let that stuff go. Ugh, allergies were horrible, horrible. Um, to the point where I would have to sit up to sleep at night. I couldn't even lay my head back. I mentioned private groups. I'm talking about the group that we're in right now, our R72 specifically because we're doing the challenge, but also just any of our AHA community groups is what I'm referring to. So just being a part of the community, asking questions, sharing what's happening with you is what I'm referring to. When we go to the juice portion of prep, do we drink 32 ounces of juice and 32 ounces of water? I need to look at specifically what is in the prep as far as the ounces, but you still want to consume your water throughout the day. You don't want to just do 32 ounces of water. What I would say is follow the amount suggested, and then after that or before, during, enjoy your water. I know this may be off question. When do products get mailed out, CMOS, and do notifications come by email since it's coming by FedEx? I'm assuming you order CMOS from Steven. I'll assume. Yeah, so I would say reach out to Steven directly. You can email him at Steven. Just reach out to him in Mighty Networks in our private group, R72 group, so he can respond to that quickly because I'll be honest and say I do not know. I can eat avocados. Thank you. You're welcome. See, we found something. Open mind, open communication. That's why we're here. That makes me happy to see that. Mm, do, 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 do. Okay. LL, I appreciate you for getting me right. She told me it was a lot of questions I missed. I had to go on back up there. I'm all right. I can take accountability for that. um, can you drink almond milk? Yes, that's what I use, or that's what I drink. Vegan crab cakes made from heart of palm. I think I may have seen that from Tabitha Brown. Okay. Do, 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 do. What and how to eat on the now wait now. What and how to eat on the one eat BW fasts. Am I missing something with BW? Um, I'm not sure how to answer your question. If you could rephrase it, that would be great. Nicole, you said you submitted a question. I was wondering if you guys are planning to offer another package of the root products because when I joined the R73 72 challenge, the package with the root product was not available. So that is to be determined. This was our first time making the packages and getting them out there. We're figuring out if we're going to do it again, but we'll definitely keep you all up to date and let you know because we sold those pretty quicker than we expected.
We may put together a form for those interested in purchasing, and if enough people sign up, we'll offer it.
Okay, we'll put together a form to see who would be interested in ordering because we have to order those products and put them together for you. So we'll put a form together, and if we have enough folks that are interested, then we'll run it back. Good question. Natasha says she loves dates. I keep them on hand. I drop one in my smoothie when I know I have maybe some fruit that's not as sweet as I like it to be. Um, don't see it in my email. Where's the digital cookbook? Chris addressed that. It's coming soon, y'all. Those edits. Look, I like to stay in a positive space. So all I say is we have been working hard to get it to you. We had expectations, but it's coming. We promise it's coming. Someone asked, they said, for those that asked, we are on days 3 through 5. So we are cutting down to OMAD. Day 6 through 7 are juice only days with the last 12 hours a day, 7 being green juice. Hope this helps. Appreciate you, Lakeisha Martin. I'm gonna get a whole name because you just that we appreciate you for that. That's why I love our community. We take care of each other and y'all help the coaches out a lot. Um, let's see. Can I drink almond? Okay, someone else asked that. Almond milk is fine. You are so welcome, you guys. I appreciate y'all for being here and talking to me. How often do I go to the store? Every 3 to 4 days because my produce will go bad after that. I gave y'all some tips on how to preserve your foods. Um, but let me see how often. I feel like I do live at the grocery store, but it's not. You don't have to do it that way. You can. It's important to just have a list. But I would say at least once a week, based off of the produce that I get and how often I cook. But there are definitely ways to keep the food fresh and keep it longer. And then also, if you have the time, prepping your foods and having, just making larger meals so that you can eat from it multiple times. I like to do that because I work a lot. But I enjoy cooking too, so I don't mind making my meals. But yeah, I would say like once a week, then I go to the grocery store. Mm, okay. Which are the best foods to help with constipation or digestive issues to have daily bowel movements? So one thing I'm gonna suggest again is the root products. The Restore is amazing for the digestive system. The Relive greens are as well. We've gotten a lot of feedback on those, so check those out on the Root brand site. We should have it all over the place, but if you need it, I'll get it to you. Just message me. But foods that work for me, a few things: eating raw before cooked, and being conscious of your bowel movement. So if you know that you haven't had a bowel movement, you don't want to eat a heavy meal. Pineapples are great. Coconut water, if I'm not mistaken, you may have said you're allergic to coconut water, but, water with lemon, drinking that throughout the day usually, if y'all see me drinking, you'll see that I have a lemon in my water. I found that to assist with decreasing bloating and assisting with bowel movements as well, and I'm drinking it throughout the day, typically every day. But a nice juicy fruit or fruit smoothies really help to make sure you have regular bowel movements. And of course, being mindful of how much you eat and what you're eating, and the dehydrating foods that we're consuming. Oh, good. Casey Moby said, I have personally made jollof quinoa and it is delicious. Yes. I'm telling you, I saw a recipe on it. I said, I think I can do this. And I did it. My people loved it at home. Will the live be posted for viewing later? Absolutely. Any lives that we do, we will for sure have it available for you guys. Mm. Herbal tea suggestions. As long as it is um a whole like it just is the herb itself, um, no caffeine, go for it. Try different things. Right now I'm drinking fennel. I got some fennel seeds and I'm enjoying that. But whatever herb, like I'm all about feeling and what you're attracted to and figuring and doing research. But just rule of thumb is just make sure that it is just the herb, nothing added, and it's not caffeinated, and enjoy it. Try it with lemon. When you're not fasting, you can try with a sweetener like honey or agave or something like that. I know that might be broad and but I do my best not to say this like specific thing because it's not just that. Be in tune with yourself and think about what it is that you want and think about the benefits of the herbs. Like look up or start researching and learning different herbs and what they do. And if it's something that you know that you need more of, then you might want to lean in that direction as well. Someone said they rub magnesium oil on their legs sometimes for leg cramps. I think a good massage and just moving and getting that blood flow is good too. And soaking in the detox soaks, the salt soaks. What to do for insomnia? I've tried essential oils, meditation, chamomile tea, lavender. Okay, so if you've tried all these things, you may want to look into the 40-day program and tap into emotional healing. I'm not sure if you all have watched the video series that Chris James has with his brother John, but he goes deeper into his healing journey and how he was able to release weight, and he suffered with insomnia as well. Sometimes we have to go a bit deeper than just the foods that we're eating. And obviously, you said you've used the essential oils and the teas. So really focusing on your emotional healing and figuring out what that blockage is may be important, or maybe a breakthrough for you. And also journaling and writing and thinking about how you're feeling throughout the day, if you're anxious and these things that keep you up and awake. Um, how your mind is moving. You may not really think about it, but if you get your pen and paper and just start writing how you feel, what you're thinking, what you're experiencing, anything that might trigger you, you might be able to tap into something that's causing that block. So we do have that 40-day. It's a digital program. Some folks may have already experienced it live, but it's available um, in our AHA fasting system, AHA Wellness Academy. You asked if the fibroids went away. If they're still there, they are not doing anything. I didn't go back to the doctor to see if they went away. I went and saw them, but they definitely were there, but the experience of them are no longer there. My cycles are smooth sailing. Uh, Somebody said, "Chris, quick with the links." He in there, y'all. How does someone with kidney disease and dialysis 3 days a week fast? Is it possible to reverse kidney disease and congestive heart disease through fasting? Um, that's a good question, and I think I'm gonna let Chris answer that if he hasn't. But I will say I know that he has an interview with someone that did reverse congestive heart disease through fasting, and different other steps they took as well on the YouTube channel. I'll try to find that for you. But I don't want to go into too much detail on the subjects that I'm not a master in. But I'll take your question and make sure we get an answer for you. I wonder if I can highlight it. Roasted chickpeas are good. Oh, good snacks. Yeah, we don't want to snack too much. We don't promote, especially during the challenge. But of course, I know that you're gonna snack and munch throughout the day. But blueberries are really yummy to snack on. One thing I like to make is guacamole, and I make it from scratch. And instead of using chips, I'll use like red bell pepper. I'll just cut a red bell pepper and use that to scoop, and it gives me that crunch that I like. So that's another raw option for you guys to try. Just a little nugget. Mhm. How do you use Slim and Sassy? Okay, so Slim and Sassy, if you already have it, um, then that's great. Right now, doTERRA stopped making Slim and Sassy, and they upgraded it to MetaPower. But you can use Slim and Sassy, which is the metabolic blend. It assists with weight loss, and it also assists with cleansing the gut. You can put it in your beverages. So, like if I wanted to, I could drop a drop here. You can put it in a smoothie. You can take it in a veggie capsule. One or two drops is all you need, but I typically say you want to do that at least 6 times a day and be consistent with it, and it'll help, especially if you're changing your eating habits and consuming enough water. Okay, I think. Okay, all right, Lakeisha, I'm glad I answered your question. Mm, bananas. Oh, no name is giving some suggestions for sleeping. I didn't know anything about bananas having melatonin in them. I have to look into that.
Zero in helps with melatonin production.
Uh, Also with the insomnia or the sleeping issues, zero in. Just we always go back to the root products because they figured out a way to really tap into the issues that folks are having and assist the body with reversing it. Your body does all the work, but if you put it in a position where it can heal, it will. Zero in is amazing for natural melatonin production as well. And that the kit that we put together for the folks that did get the root kit, the reason we chose those particular products is because we have seen an amazing change in our lives with that and on our health journey as well. So if anyone had questions about what to get, if they wanted to, where to start, Clean Slate for sure to literally help you get a clean slate on your bill of health. But adding that restore for your gut balance and zero in for focus. Um, Also assisting with the gut. It helps with sleeping well, which is interesting because it gives you energy. But it just works well with the body. So definitely, if you hadn't used that root products, you might want to try that. All right, folks, we're coming up to this hour mark, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. I think I know we still had some questions coming in. Let's see. All right. Yeah, we'll answer some of these later. I'll drop the link again for our question Q&A sheet, and we will answer some questions. We'll drop them in our group. And when I say the group, I mean our R72 group, and make sure we get those answered for you. But I definitely hope that this was helpful. Y'all keep in mind, just keep an open mind, continue to communicate, ask questions, and take action. Have fun with your food. I hope y'all enjoyed this. And of course, we're definitely going to be available for you um, in the groups via email and message and all that good stuff. So, y'all enjoy the rest of your day, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are, and we will talk to you all soon. Now I need to figure out, do I just leave studio? End broadcast? Bye.